There is a kind of exhaustion I don't think we talk about enough. It's what happens when you spent so much of your life making sure everyone else is okay that one day you finally look at yourself and realize, I'm not okay. And maybe you've known that for a while. Maybe you know that you need to take better care of yourself. Maybe people have even told you, you need to make time for yourself. You need to exercise. You need to eat better. You need to get more sleep. You need to reduce your stress. And you're sitting there thinking, do you understand how tired I am? I don't need another list of things I'm supposed to be doing. I don't even know where to start. If that's where you are right now, that's who I want to talk to today. Welcome to the Longevity Path with Dr. Ava, where ancient wisdom meets modern regenerative medicine. I think about this a lot, and not because I'm a doctor of my medicine, but also because I'm a mother. I'm a business owner. I'm a daughter. I'm a sister. I'm an individual person who has my own physical and emotional needs. And there are people I love whose health I think about too. And honestly, that's a lot to carry. Not just for me personally, but all of you out there too. So I know I'm not the only woman who does this. Maybe for you, it's your children. Maybe you're caring for an aging parent. Maybe your spouse has been struggling. Maybe you're the person in your family everyone calls when something happens. Maybe you're running a business or managing a team where people depend on you all day. Or maybe there wasn't one major crisis. Life just kept requiring more from you. And every time something had to move down the priority list, and it was you. Your appointment could wait. Your workout could wait. You'd eat later. You'd sleep when everything was finished. You'd deal with that pain eventually. You'd figure out why you're exhausted when life calmed down. You'd start taking care of yourself again next month. Except life didn't calm down, and eventually something interesting happens. You can become so accustomed to functioning this way that you stop recognizing how depleted you actually are. You're functioning, you're getting things done, people can depend on you. From the outside, you may look completely fine, but functioning and being well are not the same thing. And then your body starts getting louder. Maybe you're exhausted when you wake up. Maybe your digestion isn't what it used to be. Maybe your weight changes. Maybe you're more irritable. Maybe you just don't feel like yourself. And that's usually when people decide, okay, I need to get healthy. But now there's another problem. Where do you even start? Because the wellness world will happily give you 400 things you should be doing. Wake up earlier, meditate, journal, walk, strength train, eat more protein, track your food, take supplements, drink more water, fix your hormones, work on your gut, get your steps, get sunlight, improve your sleep, reduce your stress. And individually, some of these things may be helpful. They're all actually very helpful. But when you're already exhausted, that entire list sounds like another job. I think your first step may simply be noticing it again. In Chinese medicine, we're constantly paying attention to patterns, not just one symptom in isolation. We're asking questions. And oftentimes, people don't know the answer to these questions off the top of their head. If that tells you how disconnected you are from your body, we want to know what's happening with your sleep, with your digestion, your energy, your emotions, your appetite, your pain. What has changed? What keeps happening? What does the whole pattern look like? And I think there's something incredibly useful about bringing that same curiosity into our own lives. Before you decide what you need to fix, start paying attention to what is actually happening. And instead of saying, "Why I didn't do anything different?" stop playing that game and start asking, "How do I feel when I wake up?" Honestly, that last statement is not productive. So let's start asking, how do I feel when I wake up? Am I hungry during the day? Am I eating regularly? What happens to my energy in the afternoon? Am I holding tension somewhere in my body all day? When do I feel most overwhelmed? How am I sleeping? What hurts? What have I normalized that actually doesn't feel good? And here's an important one. When was the last time I felt like myself? You don't need perfect answers. This isn't a diagnostic exercise. It's just a way of rebuilding awareness. Because chronic stress and constant responsibility, not to mention some social conditioning, can change the way we interact with our own body. When you're constantly responding to what's urgent, you get very good at overriding signals. I'm tired, but I have to finish this. I'm hungry, but the kids need something. I need a break, but somebody is calling. Something hurts, but I'll deal with it later. I'm overwhelmed, but I can't stop right now. Sometimes that is necessary. Life has seasons where we genuinely have to carry more. The problem is when temporary survival becomes our normal way of living. From a modern physiology perspective, our bodies need periods of recovery. We are not designed to stay in constant output indefinitely. Sleep matters, nutrition matters, movement matters, recovery matters, our nervous system matters. But I don't want you to hear that and immediately create another checklist. That's not today's assignment. Today's assignment is much smaller. I want you to find one place where you can begin paying attention to yourself again. Maybe tonight you notice how tired you actually are instead of automatically pushing through. Maybe you notice whether you've eaten before 2 p.m. Maybe you notice how your body feels after certain meals. And this is a big thing you'll hear from Wes when it comes to the food fit assessment. But maybe you notice that you haven't had 5 quiet minutes all day. Maybe you finally acknowledge the pain that you've been dismissing for 6 months. Maybe you realize you've been saying, I'm fine, for a very long time when you haven't actually felt fine. That awareness matters because once we can see a pattern, we can start making decisions about it. And I want to say something especially to the person who feels like she's standing at the bottom of a mountain right now. Maybe you've gained weight. You're not sleeping. You haven't exercised. Your eating feels chaotic. You're stressed. Your body hurts. You know there are appointments you need to make. And every time you think about your health, you see the entire mountain at once. You do not have to climb the entire mountain today. You need to find the ground underneath your feet. That's different. Your health doesn't have to begin with a transformation. It can begin with attention. And I think this is one of the most important parts of longevity. We talk so much about extending life, optimization, supplements, treatments, technology, regenerative medicine. All of those conversations can have a place. But what's the point of trying to optimize a body you've become completely disconnected from? Longevity, to me, isn't simply about adding years. It's about building a relationship with your health that allows you to recognize when something is changing and participate in your well-being over time. So it's not just about longevity, it's about the quality of that length of time. And participation doesn't mean perfection. It means you're present. So this week, don't try to become a completely different person. Don't punish yourself for the years you weren't able to prioritize your health. Don't create a massive plan at midnight because you're suddenly motivated. Start with noticing. Ask yourself, what has my body been trying to tell me? And then listen long enough to hear the answer. Maybe the answer is fatigue, hunger, pain. Maybe it's tension, loneliness. Maybe it's that you need support. Whatever you notice, don't immediately judge it. Just treat it as information because this month we're going to start talking about what happens when we actually listen to those clues. We're going to talk about everybody's favorite subject. I know, food. We're going to talk about simple habits. We're going to talk about what it means to build health instead of constantly chasing symptoms. Today, I just want you to come back to yourself. If this conversation brought something up for you, write down the answer to this question or comment below. What has my body been asking me to pay attention to? You don't have to solve it today, just notice it. And until next time, stay grounded, stay consistent, and build health that supports your life, not just your symptoms. Don't forget to like and subscribe.